Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that we're going to talk about today is really annoying, I'm going to be honest. The SCOTUS has decided not to take up the Maryland assault weapons ban case and refer it back down to the lower courts of where it's kind of stuck. Now, this has the very similar rhyme to what they've done in a lot of different scenarios. For example, the sensitive places in the Second Circuit, now the Maryland ban in the Fourth Circuit. We've seen this a lot. We're going to walk through the entire thing right now. Everything will be linked in the description box below. Please let me know what you guys think in the comments field. And of course, send this one out so everyone is in the know of what's going on with our rights. And of course, guys, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. And with that said, let's get into this. Let me show you what is happening here. Man, it is good to be back home, isn't it? All right. Supreme Court declines to hear challenge to Maryland ban on rifles known as assault weapons. Now, this is breaking as of today. Okay, this came out this morning. This is when they announced it. Let me bring you up to speed and then show you a few different pieces here and where this goes from here. Washington AP. The Supreme Court on Monday declined for now, okay, that's a very important piece, for now, to hear a challenge to a Maryland law banning certain semi-automatic firearms commonly referred to as assault weapons. The court did not elaborate on the denial, as is typical, didn't say anything. It would have been unusual for the justices to take up a case at this point, since the lower court is still weighing it. The Supreme Court is also considering an appeal over a similar law in Illinois. It did not act on Monday in that case, which could be another avenue to take up the issue. So, as we go into this, there were a bunch of cases, if you remember, that were brought up for consideration for certiorari in the Supreme Court. That was last week. The Maryland case, this is the Bianchi case, that one did not get taken up. However, they did not make a ruling on the Illinois case. That's the Pritzker-Pica Act, okay? It's two sides of the same coin. They ruled on one, they did not rule or decide on the other. So this is where it gets really interesting, brings in that for now piece. But let me continue showing you what happened here. This is about the Maryland case. The Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals is still weighing the case, and Maryland argued the lower court should be able to issue a decision before a potential Supreme Court action, which is very standard. Let that out there right now. That is a standard operating procedure. The plaintiffs, though, said the appeals court has taken too long, including an unusual move, removing it from a 3-judge panel and instead putting the case before the full circuit court. That is a stalling tactic, okay? The reason that the Supreme Court got the even option for the certiorari conversation was because the appellate court for the Fourth Circuit was taking too long. My take on that is they were dragging their feet on purpose because it was an unusual move to put it before the full circuit court, right? Now, that could indicate they know they're going to lose. That could indicate they're just buying time. That could indicate they're hoping for a presidential election to pass. I have no idea what their intentions are or their hopes are, but it looks like they know they're in trouble, so they're dragging their feet. SCOTUS has allowed them to continue to drag their feet. That's essentially where the payoff is in Maryland. Okay, now let me go to a second article here because this all this stuff ties together. It's really key. U.S. Supreme Court rebuffs appeal over Maryland assault weapons ban. Again, from today, this morning. This is from Reuters. The U.S. Supreme Court declined on Monday to hear a challenge to a Democratic-backed ban in Maryland on assault-style rifles, such as AR-15s, steering clear of the dispute while the litigation continues in lower court. That's the payoff. It's still continuing in lower court. They basically said, let it play out in lower court. We'll deal with it at a different time when it's appropriate. Again, go back to what I just read you prior. It's not standard for them to intervene outside of a lower court's action. They're the Supreme Court, right? That's the whole point. The plaintiffs wanted to get it in front of the SCOTUS to hurry process along. But the SCOTUS said, no, you've got a lower court deciding that thing, exact same thing right now. Okay, that's kind of where we're at. Let me continue. Other appeals still pending before the Supreme Court seek to challenge a similar law in Illinois banning assault rifles and large capacity magazines. The justices did not act on those cases on Monday. So, again, two sides, same coin. One side, Maryland, now we're not going to touch it, lower courts are dealing with it. Other side, PICA, the assault weapons ban and magazine ban in Illinois, has not been ruled on. That is interesting. I cannot tell you what they're going to do with that, but we'll be watching it like a bloodhound. But that's where we're at right this second as of Monday. And the last thing here, some backstory. After the Supreme Court's 2022 ruling in the New York case, the justices asked the Fourth Circuit to revisit the case made by the Maryland plaintiffs. The Fourth Circuit decided in January to rehear the matter before its full slate of judges, and that remains pending. Again, dragging their feet after the Bruin decision when the SCOTUS came in and said, reconsider all of these things from our new judgment. They've been dragging their feet. So if you look at this entire thing across the board, all the different slate of assault weapons ban that were put in front of them, they ruled on Maryland. They didn't rule on Illinois. They pushed Maryland back down to the Fourth Circuit, and they basically said, work that out. We'll revisit it if we need to. Again, this is all for now, but that's what we've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.